The door creaked open with a whisper, but to Alexander Hargrove, it might as well have been a thunderclap. He'd flown back from Tokyo a day early, eager to surprise his 5-year-old daughter, Lily, after 3 grueling weeks of boardroom battles that had sealed his latest multimillion-dollar deal. But as he stepped into the marble-floored foyer of his sprawling Manhattan penthouse, the sound of splashing water and laughter drew him toward the bathroom, only to freeze him in place when he saw his male nanny, Jamie Ellis, shirtless and kneeling by the tub, gently washing Lily's hair with a tenderness that bordered on paternal. Alexander's heart slammed against his ribs. Jamie, the 28-year-old he'd hired 6 months ago on a whim after a string of unreliable female caregivers, was openly gay, something Alexander had dismissed as irrelevant when Jamie's references glowed with praise for his nurturing skills. Yet here, in this intimate scene, something stirred in Alexander, a flicker of confusion that made his cheeks burn. He backed away silently, retreating to his study, where he poured a scotch with shaking hands. How could a simple bath unsettle him so deeply? Was it the vulnerability in Jamie's eyes, or the way Lily beamed at him like he was her whole world? That night, sleep evaded Alexander. At 42, he'd built Hargrove Enterprises from a startup in his garage to a tech empire dominating Silicon Valley's shadow in New York. Widowed 3 years ago when his wife, Elena, succumbed to cancer, he'd thrown himself into work, leaving Lily's care to professionals. Jamie had been a godsend. Patient, creative, turning bedtime stories into epic adventures. But now Alexander questioned everything. Was hiring a gay man to raise his daughter a mistake? Society's whispers echoed in his mind. His conservative investors, his judgmental family back in Texas. He stared at the ceiling, replaying the scene. Jamie's lean muscles glistening under the bathroom lights, his laughter mingling with Lily's giggles. No, it wasn't disgust. It was something far more dangerous: curiosity. The next morning, Alexander confronted Jamie in the kitchen. "I came home early last night," he said flatly, watching Jamie flip pancakes for Lily. Jamie's blue eyes widened, then softened with a knowing smile. "I hope you didn't mind the mess." Lily insisted on bubble bath wars. Alexander nodded, but his voice tightened. "It's fine. Just be more discreet." The words hung heavy, laced with unspoken accusation. Jamie's face fell, a shadow crossing his features. He turned back to the stove, but Alexander saw the hurt. Why had he said that? Discreet about what? Bathing a child? Or was it the shirtless part that bothered him? The reminder that Jamie was a man, attractive and unapologetically himself? As days blurred into weeks, tension simmered. Alexander found excuses to work from home more, observing Jamie's routines. He noticed how Jamie taught Lily sign language for fun, how he baked cookies from scratch, how he handled tantrums with empathy Alexander envied. One evening, after tucking Lily in, Jamie lingered in the living room, nursing a glass of wine. "Mr. Hargrove, Alex, can we talk?" he asked. Alexander sat, steeling himself. "That night, I sensed something. If my being gay makes you uncomfortable, I can leave." The directness pierced Alexander. "It's not that," he lied, then sighed. "Maybe it is. My world, boardrooms, galas, it's not always welcoming." Jamie leaned forward. "And your world is Lily's too. She needs love, not labels." Their conversations deepened. Alexander shared stories of Elena, the love he'd lost too soon. Jamie opened up about his own past. Disowned by his religious parents in rural Ohio at 18 for coming out, scraping by until he found solace in childcare. "Kids don't judge," Jamie said. "They just love." Alexander felt a pull, an emotional tether forming. But doubt gnawed. What would his sister say? Rebecca, with her Bible study groups and pointed questions about Lily's upbringing. Or his business partners, who golfed with politicians railing against alternative lifestyles. One night, over shared whiskey, Alexander admitted, "I envy how free you are." Jamie's hand brushed his, accidental yet electric. Alexander pulled away, heart racing. Was this attraction, or just loneliness? The first crack appeared at a family dinner. Rebecca visited from Dallas, her eyes narrowing at Jamie's presence. A male nanny? That's unconventional. Lily defended him fiercely. Jamie's the best. But later, alone with Alexander, Rebecca pressed. Is he? You know? What if he influences her? Alexander bristled. He's professional. Yet her words seeded paranoia. He began monitoring Jamie more closely, questioning late-night texts on his phone. Jealousy? No, protection, he told himself. But when he overheard Jamie on a call, laughing with a friend about a date, a pang hit him, sharp, unwelcome. High society intruded next. At a charity gala, Alexander brought Jamie as family support for Lily, who insisted. Whispers followed. Hargrove's nanny? A man? One investor pulled him aside. Image matters, Alex. Don't want rumors. Alexander laughed it off, but inside, rage boiled. That night, back home, he snapped at Jamie. Maybe this isn't working. Jamie's eyes filled with tears. Because of them? Or you? The question hung, unanswered. Alexander stormed out, driving aimlessly through the city lights, wrestling with his turmoil. Was he protecting Lily, or hiding from himself? Dawn broke over the Hudson, but Alexander's mind was a storm. He'd spent the night in a hotel, replaying Jamie's words. Returning home, he found Jamie packing. Lily's with the neighbor, Jamie said quietly. I'll be gone by noon. Panic surged. Wait, I overreacted. Jamie paused, suitcase half-zipped. It's more than that, Alex. I see how you look at me. Conflicted, like I'm a threat. Alexander sank onto the couch. You're not. It's me. Elena was my everything, but since then, nothing. Jamie sat beside him, close enough to feel the warmth. Grief doesn't mean you stop living. They talked for hours, barriers crumbling. Alexander confessed his rigid upbringing. Father, a oil tycoon who preached real men don't show weakness. Coming out wasn't an option, he whispered, realizing the irony. Jamie shared his scars. The rejection that left him homeless, the relationships sabotaged by internalized shame. Love shouldn't be a battle, Jamie said. Their hands intertwined, a tentative bridge. Alexander's pulse quickened. This felt right, yet terrifying. What if it destroyed everything? Lily's return interrupted, her joy at seeing them together oblivious to the undercurrents. Over the following weeks, a fragile routine emerged. Alexander cut back on travel, joining Jamie and Lily for park outings. He noticed Jamie's quirks. The way he hummed show tunes while cooking, his passion for photography. One afternoon in Central Park, as Lily chased pigeons, Jamie captured Alexander's profile on his camera. You're photogenic, he teased. Alexander smiled, a genuine one. But shadows loomed. His executive assistant, Mark, raised an eyebrow at the changes. Spending more time with the nanny? Careful, boss. The turning point came during a storm. Power out, candles flickering. They huddled with Lily telling ghost stories. As she dozed off, Jamie leaned in. Alex, what are we doing? Their lips met, soft, exploratory. Alexander pulled back, breathless. I don't know, but he did. This was desire buried deep. They didn't speak of it again that night, but the air crackled. Society's claws tightened. Rebecca called, announcing a surprise visit with their parents. We want to see Lily and meet this nanny. Alexander's stomach knotted. He warned Jamie, who nodded resolutely. I'll be professional. The dinner was a minefield. His father, Harlan, grilled Jamie. What made you choose this line of work? Not many men do. Jamie answered evenly, love for kids. But Rebecca probed deeper. And your personal life? Stable? Jamie glanced at Alexander. Single. Focused on my job. Harlan harumphed. Good. Kids need traditional role models. After they left, Alexander exploded. Traditional? Like dad's affairs mom ignored. Jamie calmed him. They're from another era. But the visit planted seeds. Alexander's mother pulled him aside. Be careful, son. Rumors can ruin reputations. He brushed it off, but doubt festered. Was pursuing this worth the risk? Lily adored Jamie. If it ended badly, she'd suffer most. A betrayal brewed unwittingly. Mark, loyal but ambitious, overheard a tender moment between Alexander and Jamie. Fearing instability, he leaked a vague tip to a gossip blog. Tech mogul's unconventional home life raises eyebrows. The post went viral overnight. Alexander woke to frantic calls. Investors nervous, stock dipping slightly. He confronted Mark, who apologized. "I thought it was for the company." Fury blinded Alexander. "You're fired." But damage was done. Jamie saw the article, his face paling. "This is because of me." Alexander pulled him close. "No, because of cowards. They decided to face it head-on." Alexander issued a statement. "My personal life is private, but my family comes first." Quelled some fires, but whispers persisted. At a board meeting, one director quipped, "Hope your nanny's not distracting you." Alexander's retort was sharp. "He's better at his job than you at yours." Their bond deepened amid the chaos. Late nights, they shared dreams. Jamie wanted to open a daycare for at-risk youth. Alexander envisioned philanthropy beyond profits. Physical closeness grew, hugs lingering, hands brushing. But they held back, mindful of Lily. One evening, as rain pattered, Jamie confessed, "I'm falling for you, Alex, but if it's too much." Alexander kissed him, sealing the unspoken. Yet morality clashed. Alexander grappled with ethics. Was he using Jamie to fill Elena's void? Jamie worried about power dynamics, boss and employee. "We need boundaries," he said. They agreed to therapy separately at first. Alexander's sessions unearthed suppressed attractions from college, dismissed as phases. "Sexuality isn't black and white," his therapist said. Jamie's reinforced resilience. "Love is love." The first major sacrifice came when Rebecca discovered a photo on social media. Alexander and Jamie at a pride event with Lily, her face painted rainbow. She called, hysterical. "You're exposing her to that? I'll fight for custody if needed." Alexander's heart shattered. Rebecca, his sister, turning on him? He hung up, trembling. Jamie held him. "We'll fight together." The custody threat loomed like a guillotine. Alexander hired a lawyer, prepping for worst case. "Family courts favor stability," the attorney warned. "Any unconventional elements could hurt." Alexander paced his office, phone in hand. He called Rebecca. "This is low, even for you," she sobbed. "I'm protecting Lily from confusion." "Confusion? Or your bigotry?" He shot back. The call ended in stalemate. Jamie felt the weight. "Maybe I should step back." Alexander refused. "No, we're in this." They told Lily gently, "Jamie and Daddy are special friends." Her response, "Like Mommy and Daddy were?" Innocent yet piercing. Alexander nodded, throat tight. That night he proposed changes. "Quit as nanny. Be my partner." Jamie's eyes widened. "And Lily? We'll co-parent." It was a leap but necessary. Transition wasn't smooth. Jamie moved into a guest room temporarily, job hunting. Alexander faced board pressure. Personal scandals affect business. He countered with data. Profits up despite rumors. But internally, guilt gnawed. Was he selfish, dragging Jamie into his world? Jamie reassured, "I chose this." Social fallout escalated. Old friends distanced. New ones emerged from LGBTQ+ networks. At a fundraiser, a prominent CEO pulled Alexander aside. "Brave, coming out implicitly. Needs support." Alexander hadn't labeled it, but nodded. Jamie thrived in advocacy circles, volunteering at shelters. Their relationship blossomed. Dates in discreet cafes, walks hand in hand in progressive Brooklyn neighborhoods. A moral dilemma arose when Harlan suffered a heart attack. Alexander flew to Texas, Jamie staying with Lily. At the hospital, Harlan grumbled, "Heard about your situation." Alexander tensed. "Jamie's family now." Harlan sighed. "Times change. Just be happy." A grudging acceptance? Rebecca, however, doubled down. Dad's weak. I won't let this slide. She filed for emergency custody, citing unfit environment. Court loomed. Alexander testified, voice steady. Lily's thriving. Love isn't a threat. Jamie spoke eloquently. I care for her like my own. Experts vouched for their stability. Rebecca's side painted Jamie as influence, dredging up his past rejection. The judge deliberated. Days felt eternal. Alexander lost sleep, Jamie comforting him. Whatever happens, we're us. Victory came bittersweet. Custody denied to Rebecca, but with visitation stipends. Alexander hugged Jamie in the courthouse hall. We won, but scars remained. Rebecca cut contact, a family rift. Alexander mourned the loss, questioning if love was worth the fracture. Healing began slowly. They moved to a quieter suburb in Connecticut, seeking normalcy. Lily started school, excelling. Alexander delegated more at work, prioritizing home. Jamie launched a blog on modern parenting, gaining followers. Their intimacy grew emotional depths, sharing fears, dreams. One night, stargazing, Alexander said, I never thought I'd find this again. Jamie smiled. Second chances. Yet society bit back. At Lily's school play, parents whispered. A note came home. Concerns about family structure. Alexander met with the principal, advocating fiercely. Diversity strengthens. It resolved, but exhaustion set in. Jamie noticed. We're fighting every day. Alexander nodded. For us, it's worth it. A betrayal from within struck. An ex-employee, bitter from layoffs, sold a story to tabloids. Hargrove's gay affair? Nanny to lover? Photos surfaced, innocent park shots. Stock plummeted 5%. Board called emergency meeting. Resign or stabilize, they demanded. Alexander faced a choice. Deny everything or stand firm. He chose truth. In a press conference, flanked by Jamie, I'm in a committed relationship with a man I love. My personal life doesn't define my leadership. Applause mixed with boos. Stock recovered slowly. Allies rallied. But the toll, anonymous threats, online hate. Jamie bore it stoically, but Alexander saw the strain. Reflection hit during therapy. Am I hurting him? Alexander asked. The therapist probed. Or are you both choosing growth? Jamie echoed. Pain shapes us. Their bond strengthened, forged in fire. As winter approached, a moment of peace. Thanksgiving, just the three. Lily's laughter filled the air. Alexander proposed informally. Marry me? Jamie teared up. Yes, but legality loomed. Same-sex marriage secure, yet family opposition. Engagement brought joy laced with dread. Alexander's mother called. Tentative. If you're happy. A bridge mending. Harlan grumbled acceptance. But Rebecca remained silent. A void. Planning the wedding, they opted small, close friends, LGBTQ plus efficient. Lily as flower girl, beaming. Work demands pulled Alexander away. A merger crisis in San Francisco. Go, Jamie urged. We'll be fine. But absence bred insecurity. Late calls revealed Jamie's fatigue. School meetings, blog trolls. Alexander returned to find Jamie distant. What's wrong? Jamie confessed. Sometimes I feel like the other in your world. Alexander pulled him close. You're my world. A societal clash erupted at a networking event. A conservative donor cornered Alexander. Your lifestyle choices. Regrettable. Alexander retorted. Love isn't a choice. Ignorance is. The exchange went viral, boosting his progressive image but alienating traditional clients. Contracts lost, but new ones gained from inclusive brands. Internal conflict peaked. Alexander dreamed of Elena, guilt-ridden. Am I betraying her? Waking, he confided in Jamie. She'd want you happy. It eased, but doubts lingered. Jamie faced his demons. Flashbacks to disownment. What if Lily rejects us later? They vowed transparency. The wedding approached. Rehearsal dinner. Friends toasted their courage. But sabotage struck. Rebecca showed. Uninvited. This is wrong, she hissed. Alexander escorted her out. Your hate isn't welcome. Heartbroken, he leaned on Jamie. Family should unite, not divide. The ceremony was beautiful. Vows exchanged under blooming arches. In sickness and health against all odds. Lily cheered. Honeymoon in Hawaii, blissful escape. But reality crashed upon return. A lawsuit from a former partner, alleging moral turpitude in contracts. Baseless but draining. Jamie suggested therapy together. Sessions unpacked layers. Alexander's repressed identity, Jamie's trust issues. Communication is key, the counselor said. They implemented date nights, boundaries. Lily's questions grew. Why do some people not like you and Jamie? Alexander explained gently. Fear of different. It sparked her empathy. But a school bully targeted her. Your dads are weird. Tears flowed. Alexander confronted the parents, advocating education. Resolution came via assembly on diversity. Sacrifice mounted. Alexander stepped down as CEO, becoming chairman, less stress, more family. For us, he told Jamie, profits dipped initially, but innovation surged under new leadership. A turning point. Rebecca reached out, apologetic. I miss Lily. And you. Coffee meetup tense. I was scared, she admitted. Alexander forgave gradually. Join us. Tentative reconciliation. As spring bloomed, peace settled. Jamie's daycare dream materialized. Funded by Alexander. Opening day. Kids laughing, parents grateful. Alexander watched proudly. We built this. Yet shadows persisted. Media scrutiny, occasional slurs. Jamie confided. Sometimes I wonder if straight life was easier. Alexander held him. But not authentic. Years condensed challenges into growth. Lily turned 10, wise beyond. I'm proud of my dads, she declared at a family picnic. Alexander and Jamie, married 5 years, navigated highs and lows. Business rebounded. Jamie's center thrived. A new conflict. Adoption. They wanted another child. Process grueling, background checks, home visits. Bias surfaced. One agency hesitated, citing non-traditional. They switched, persevering. Finally, approval for baby Ethan. Joy mingled with fear. Alexander's health scare. A stress-induced panic attack. Forced reflection. I almost lost it all. Jamie nursed him. We're stronger. Societal shifts helped. Laws evolved, acceptance grew. But pockets of resistance. At a pride parade, protesters jeered. Lily asked, why hate? Jamie explained, change scares some. Betrayal revisited. An old flame of Jamie's resurfaced, offering normalcy. Temptation flickered. Easier path? Jamie confessed. Alexander hurt, but understood. Choose us. Jamie did, recommitting. Moral quandaries. Raising kids in spotlight. Media offered docuseries. Share our story? Alexander debated. Pros, inspire others. Cons, exposure. They declined, prioritizing privacy. Family mended fully. Rebecca attended Ethan's christening, tearful. I'm sorry. Bonds reformed. Highs peaked at anniversaries. Vows renewed privately. Through storms we endure. Time wove their tapestry complete. Lily, now a teen, advocated for LGBTQ+ rights at school. Ethan toddled, oblivious to struggles paving his path. Alexander, semi-retired, mentored startups. Jamie expanded his centers nationwide. Reflection evenings. Remember that bath? Jamie teased. Alexander laughed. The shock that started it all. Challenges faded, but lessons endured. They volunteered, helping youth like young Jamie. In quiet moments, Alexander pondered choices. The risks taken, prices paid. Family rifts, career hits, emotional scars. Worth it? Absolutely. But was coming out always the right path? Or did some battles scar more than heal?